Welcome back to Bastion. A game that I've still I'm trying to beat. Let's see if I can beat it this
straight
time.
to the heart of things, don't it? The note says it plain. Zia, go east to learn the truth about the calamity and our people. I'll be waiting. Sincerely, Zulf.
Okay.
Kid arrives just in time to sample Zia's famous cooking. He wolfs down too much too fast, and it all goes to his head.
Yay, another one of these.
I've said a lot about the kid, but he ain't the only one wrapped up in all this.
Oh?
What's he thinking? Well, let me see if I got this straight. I only heard it once.
Come on. We can do this.
Once there was a normal Ura girl, but she wasn't born in the Tassel terminals like the rest of her people. She was from Zealandia.
We got this. Come
Her
on.
folks were orphaned in the war, taken in and raised inside the city, on condition they would never return to the terminals. Ura refugees who came into the city had to stay for life. It was a way to reduce the risk of city secrets leaking out. Mama passed away from birthing complications, leaving the girl trapped inside that city with no one but her father. father was sharper than a brusher's pike, so he got a job working for the city's mancers. His daughter barely saw him. Her father told her nothing of her Ura heritage. He told her nothing of the Mansers. It's for your own good, he said.
Isn't the way parents give you
She took to studying the arts, learned more through music than history books, gained a knack for strings and songs. At first, she tried to be like other girls, but her classmates spread word that her father was an Ura trader, selling out the city.
That's terrible.
One young man stood up for her, or so he led her to believe. He knew much of her heritage, and she grew fond of him.
I'm too slow for this.
The young man convinced her to take him to a family den to meet her father. Spoke of how he wanted to meet a man from the terminals. When the young man greeted her father in the Ura's native language, her father flew into a fit of rage and threw them out. The young man never told her that the Ura's native language is not to be used by foreigners. To do so is a terrible insult. Now, where were we? It was then that she decided to escape. the two of them could flee the city together and go to the Tassel terminals. They would hide inside a garbage bin until it got ingested by a scumbag, then let him slosh on out of the city for disposal. Succeeded, but the authorities were already there when that scumbag sidled up to the city walls. The young man had sent the authorities a tip. Told him her father was using her to sell secrets to the Tassel terminals.
Ew.
Well, I digress. Knocks him into an uneasy sleep.
Instead of doing that, I think I want to continue with the main story since I'm bad at this game, and that's no help.
Zolf's messenger was one of his people. Wondered just how many of them survived, and what exactly Zolf told him.
Oh, I forgot to do that, didn't I?
It ain't too late to unlock the potential of this place. The arsenal's complete, in case we need protection.
Try and mirror shield.
The shards are getting harder to find. Not everything blew up in the calamity. Why, Colford Cauldron here blew up way ahead of its time. The cauldron boiled over some 300 years ago. They say it filled the skies with ash and the lakes with molten rock. If you wanted to survive something like that, We had to learn to adapt. Best to keep out of the cauldron.
You know, best to do what it is supposed to do.
It takes a certain stubborn pride to keep on living in a place like this. As for us, we learned an awful lot from Culford Cauldron. That learning led to some interesting inventions.
Oh?
The raw power of the world fell right into our hands. Sure, we dusted off a good many secrets out here. But we discovered other things we're better off not knowing. The taste of air so hot it sticks to your lungs. All sorts of awful things crawling underfoot. The more ash we swept aside, the more life we found. Place as inhospitable as they come. It's awful hot in there.
Awful hot indeed.
After all, when we look down inside Culford Cauldron, look down through all the smoke and flames.
I like this thing.
We saw
Sure.
in there the heart of the world, the heart now laid bare by the calamity. We had to have it. As for the kid,
Run.
he just has to get that shard out of there. Too bad taking that thing woke up every last stink eye from here to Jawson Bog. Biggest stink eye he's ever seen's waiting for him on the other side. And where there's one stink eye, there's always more. Well, it ain't polite to stare. The cauldron's tenants all gather up to bid the kid a fond farewell. The kid don't shed any tears for him, though. With a good spyglass, you can still see the cauldron from the city. But all the fires died out. There's nothing left of it.
And another one bites the dust.
It comes back looking like the inside of a chimney. The shard works like a charm. You can hear the monument's heartbeat again. Just the occasion to crack open the distillery's private reserve. punch is so zesty, it'll let you carry on through the worst of times. They said Queen Anne was just a folktale. Now there's living proof she ain't.
Instead of the dueling pistols, I'll take the brusher's pike and fire bellows.
Stick 'em and cook 'em, or the other way around. Makes no difference. We spotted a pecker carrying a shard to Mount Zan.
The more shards, the better, I say.
Can't rightly call Mount Zan a mountain anymore. There's no more mountains now. There's no place left for the beasts of the wild to go. Good thing for those beasts the Calamity saved leftovers. We only found their little lair because they found themselves a little shard. The creatures of the wild, they've been building a bastion of their own. But they ain't yet prepared for any company. Best thing we can do for those beasts right now is put them down quick and clean. Besides, we have to take back what's ours. Even if the beasts of the wilds won't like it.
Interesting. Well, here's a good question.
Look at
Why
it
did
this
you replace
way.
my pike?
It's either them or us. But if we win, they win too. Our bastion is everybody's gain, not just ours. Unfortunately, there's no explaining that to a simple beast. Those beasts been hard at work fixing up the place. They've been searching for cores and shards, just like we have. Maybe they've thought about turning back, just like we have. We just really need their shard. Kid got it fair and square. That's the way.
Okay, so the mortar's really good.
He's done what's best for him, don't you worry. Don't you worry.
What if I want to worry? Can I worry now?
We'll all be better off. Bastion is complete. The monument's getting better. Zolf sure did a number on it, though. The memorial may be finished, but our part is far from over. The Gravers, the arm of justice, they seemed unstoppable. The Marshals kept the city's peace. They can rest easy now. Finding gourmet ingredients ain't easy these days, but we'll take what we can get.
Hopefully.
At least it won't get cold around here with that thing around.
Yes, because I'm worried about being cold.
That mortar's gonna leave a lasting impression. Points just don't get any sharper than that. Well, if you can't burn it, you can always blow it to Mother on high, right? Just a couple shards left. The quarry's gotta have one, right?
Why wouldn't the quarry have one? That's my question.
Imagine everything you'd need to build a city like Caelondia. It takes hard work and planning, and it also takes a burstone quarry. The Ura tunnels beneath the quarry must have softened the blow from the calamity. Same goes for its natives, rattletails. Why would the Ura put up with those pests? Rattletails ain't the worst of it either, but more about that in a little bit.
Oh yeah, this mortar is fantastic.
The quarry came with a lifetime supply of windbags. Windbags smaller than the naked eye can see are nesting in those rocks. But there was even more to it than that. Not only are these rocks a source of life, we found that the oldest ones remember things.
Oh? Memory rocks?
They're recording everything, all the time, taking it all in. No wonder all those beasts were drawn to the quarry. The rocks were calling them. Keeping the quarry free from pests turned out to be a problem. Rattletails kept tunneling in to snack on windbags. The quarry ain't exactly up to safety standards no more. Windbags tended to the rocks, so we had to keep the rattletails at bay. Without those windbags, the quarry might not have its special qualities. Even stink eyes started taking root in here.
And I fell off the wall. I really have to stop doing
Why
that.
would the Ura sell off such a fascinating place? The Ura always were a superstitious lot. Might be the gods told them the quarry's bad news. In any case, it's fair to say the quarry was godsend. Those rocks, all polished to a mirror sheen. The largest ones, you know as cores. The smaller ones, we call them shards. A shard's got a fraction of a core's power, enough to fuel a voyage to the motherland. Well, now the quarry's all dried up. These rocks are much too young to be of use. Remember how I said rattletails ain't the worst thing in the quarry? That honor goes to a beast we took to calling Sir Lunky. Massive thing stomped many of our boys. We just couldn't get rid of him. The only thing harder than the rocks in Bastion Quarry is Sir Lunky's head. His big fat rump's plenty tough too, but so is the kid.
I might have turned myself into
We never could get stubborn old Lunky to leave the quarry alone. Then the kid hears a voice calling from down the hall. "Are you all right?" it says.
Where's it going from? Oh, we're here.
It's him. "I've come to warn you," he says. "The Bastion is under siege. Let it fall. You should not go back."
Oh?
Kid hears him, but he ain't about to be deterred.
Can I have shard, please?
"If that's the way it is," he says, "then I won't stop you. Be because my countrymen will.
Oh? His countrymen will? Well, that's news to me.
Say what you will about Zulf, but he's a man of his word. His countrymen don't much care for pleasantries, though. Too bad for that. Zulf showed him the way here, and here they came to take revenge.
Take revenge.
They got inside the Bastion and shut the door. Kid's gotta go in through the back. I should have told him sooner about all this. Unfortunately, they broke in and they started digging their holes. Something wrong sprung out of those holes, and it's eating away at this place. We tried to stop them, but we needed help. Squirt. He don't make it.
No, not squirt.
Somehow, some way, he sends those Ura packing. Problem is, it didn't matter. Zulf's plan worked. We find each other as the dust settles. Then I tell him why the Ura came. To get us back for the calamity.
Wait, what?
It was Caelondia's master plan to wipe the Ura out. But part of that plan backfired, didn't it? If only Zulf knew the whole story. The shards can put this disease in remission, but there's only one cure. We need to finish what we started. Seems the gods recommended this place to all their friends. Now all we need is one last shard. Sometimes a single look says it all. The Ura swooped down from the east. At least now we know the way. One last shard. It's all we need to put this mess behind us. And mother, what a mess it is. A mess like that could have only been made by hand.
I really have to watch where I'm walking in this game.
Zulf said the calamity failed, and he's right. The Ura stand as living proof of that. never wanted to go to war again. Wanted to rule it out. We put a lot of folks against that problem. Scientists, soldiers, spies, even me. We sought solutions far beyond the city. We traveled near as far as the kid's going right now. Most of our efforts didn't bear fruit.
Come at me! I could take you all on in a single blow.
Then there was a breakthrough, but it didn't come from one of our people. It came from an Ura, a brilliant young scientist named Ven. Ven worked for the Mancers, the sharpest knives in the city's drawer.
Okay.
With his help, the Mancers devised a way to seal the Ura tunnels shut in a flash. Just like that, every last Ura living in the Tassel terminals will be gone. This discovery was never to be used, they said, except as a last resort.
All down in one shot. Perfect.
But Ven didn't like being manipulated. He had plans of his own. He sabotaged the Mancer's little science project, set it to blow up in their faces. Imagine how Ven must have felt when they finally made him pull that trigger. But remember, the Bastion can fix everything. We just need that shard.
If we can fix everything, then why are we trying? Why are they stopping us?
Too bad the Ura ain't exactly been willing to collaborate on that front. For now, Kid had little choice but to pick up where the Calamity left off.
terrible.
First things first, though. There's someone we figured needed rescuing. Zia. The Hura fell back, no doubt planning the next move, but we knew ours already. Life wine's so rich, they say it's brought men back from the brink for one last taste. Finders keepers.
Okay.
The sanctuary. If we can build, we can rebuild.
Oh.
The Mercy. The windbags ain't the only beast that drew a bad lot. I've asked a lot of the kid, but this is something he's done on his own. Taught him an old trick from a galleon gunner I once knew.
Okay, so I can't switch upgrades that well. Yeah, I think aiming speed would be good.
There's something we had
but
to do
more damage
before
would
going
be
after that
necessary.
last shard.
Zia detected. Yes. Amazing.
Well, now it's personal, ain't it? It's personal for him, and it's personal for me. They never saw him coming. He gets his hands on the care package I sent him.
Oh?
It's a little something I've been fixing up in my spare time. The Hura found a way to keep the calamity from spreading through Sultan's Hollow. They got their own security and everything. Pretty fancy, even. They've got these conductors that are all what's keeping the place together. Break enough of those things and the calamity rocks slink back into the ground. Well, the Hura must be in a panic right about now. sick their little rattletail pets on the kid. Those rodents are just a bump in the road.
Over the road indeed. I prefer the mortar over the calamity cannon. Mostly because I can actually aim the mortar.
Kids picking the whole place apart, piece by piece. By now, every Ura from here to the terminals must know he's in town. Kid returns their greeting tenfold. Most of the Ura's conductors are squared away in the middle of the hollow. They're easy targets.
Come on, come on, come on, come on. No, don't fire anymore.
Those calamity rocks must be eating that place apart from the inside. The Ura keep hanging on to that barricade. After all, their homeland's not much farther.
Not really what I want to go on into the game, but okay.
The Ura ain't pulling their punches. Some of them are downright bewildered by what's happening. Maybe they know they've lost this. Lost to a kid.
I really lost it.
They underestimated us. Had us pegged all wrong. Yes, our people caused the calamity, but here we are trying to fix it.
I'm going to fix it the only way I know how. By continuing.
Shame the opportunity for civilized discourse is over. Suppose old Zolf should have got to know us better. As the hour grows desperate, the Ura bring out their big guns. There's nothing standing in his way no more. Way out there on the edge of the world, that's where he finally finds you. But it ain't like Prosper Bluff this time. Ain't nothing for this gal to sing about now. Zia, you weren't kidnapped. No, ma'am. You just had to see what happened to the Ura. To your own people.
Okay. I have to say, this
you had to see
game really
if
turns
everything
out
Zolf wrote to
interesting.
you was true. Wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of those.
More damage?
Okay, now that's just plain overkill. I mean, come on. Once the kid gets that last shard from Zolf, it'll all be over.
This is just plain overkill. I love it. It's glorious.
I can't hear him at all anymore. He's too far away. But he'll be all right. The Calamity hit the Tazzle terminals hardest of all. You know why Zolf went back there. All his old friends and family were there. Taken by the Calamity. Zolf must be there all alone, just waiting. You know what's funny? All we can do is sit and talk. Well, all of us are waiting for a kid. Look around. There's not much left to do here in the Bastion, I'm afraid. So why not tell each other stories to pass the time, right?
Really cool.
But Zia, there's another reason I've been telling you all this. There's something I want you to understand. When the kid brings back that shard, the Bastion will be complete. What happens to Zolf will no longer matter. This disease the Arab planet here will go away. Zealandia will be whole again. Everything will be back to normal.
Come on. You too.
Everyone will be all right. Problem is, we'll all be gone.
Wait, what?
Oh, we're not gonna die. It's more like all of this will just stop. Things will go back to the way they used to be. That's the power of the Bastion. This whole place is a living record of the times before the calamity. The way things were before this story. Good times, right? You be your old self again. Think of all those times that didn't go your way. You follow me?
So the Bastion is pretty much a big reset button.
All of life's little setbacks. Imagine if you could have another go at them.
No,
Mistakes. Anyone you've ever heard. Everything you've ever done, you could do it over. And wouldn't that be grand? Well, I guess there's nothing more to say.
No. Come on, boss fight, let's do this.
Come on, keep your chin up.
Hold on. Too late.
Who am I kidding?
Oh, there's more? Well, where do I go? Please tell me I do not have to do platforming. How to do
Look.
platforming?
There's something else. A confession. How come I know so much about the Bastion? Well, I designed the place, but that's beside the point. There's one problem with a place that sets things back to a bygone time. You can't test it. So you're probably wondering if the calamity happened already. What's to stop it from happening again after the Bastion does its thing? The answer is...
nothing. If I'm right.
I don't know. You're wondering if there ain't some other way out of this mess. It's all right. I can tell. But why would you even want another way? Unless you wanted to stay here with us.
Staying here would be nice.
Well, that's sweet and all, but I don't know if I can stick around. The weight of the calamity. It's on our shoulders. We can't just let it go. Bastion does have another function, strictly speaking. If ever the monument blew out and we couldn't repair it, we could still evacuate. First, we'd round up as many folks as we could carry. Next, we'd detonate the cores, and we'd take off away from here.
Interesting.
Of course, that would mean no going back. Ever. But then again, that way all of us could leave the city.
Forever?
Together.
And together. Forever together.
You know Zolf and his countrymen won't be giving up that shard without a fight, don't you? Zolf and the Ura, all they want now is to see the Bastion fall. Zolf dedicated his life to a lasting peace between the Ura and Caelondia. He can't have imagined the city would try to wipe the Ura out. Zolf ain't lost every shred of decency, though, has he? He tried to warn you about his plans. He tried to warn the kid. For Zolf, this ain't a personal matter. It ain't a simple matter of pride either. It's such a shame when that's life. One thing's for sure, the Ura can't be happy that the kid followed Zolf all the way home.
Bye, Zolf.
I can see it now. The kid in one corner, then Zolf in the other. Ain't much of a fight. Don't you worry, though. Once the Bastion's restored, it'll all be alright.
Zolf was a nice guy. I just can't abandon him.
You ain't still thinking about that whole leaving the city thing, are you?
Open wide, feel your heart and it's glowing. I'm welcome home, sweet home. I take your hand, now you'll never be lonely. Not when I'm home.
Kid's probably dealt with Zolf by now.
I see your
It reminds me of myself when I was his age. I ever tell you about those days?
Oh?
Hey, kid. Get up, kid. Come on, that ain't funny. I say get up. That's more like it. Now, set that shard into the monument there. Then we'll talk. The Bastion. It's finally finished. there's something I want you to see. Welcome to the heart of the Bastion. I ain't one for long goodbyes, so here's the deal. Zia and I figure you done the heavy lifting, so you get to do the honors. We can tell you how to work this thing if you got any questions. Hey, kid. You can undo the calamity here and now. Go on, kid. And before I forget, thank you. Always wondered what the motherland was like. Not that it matters anymore. You've got one thing left to do, so you hang on to that badge. Besides, you earned it.
Thank you.
You made it.
A different voice?
So, let's see. You can either prevent the calamity, or stick around with me and Rex. I'd hate to be in your shoes. If I could be any place I wanted, I'd stay right here. We could go anywhere in the world.
I like Zia's thoughts on this.
Zolf tried to talk me into joining him. I tried to talk him out of it. I guess we both failed.
Oh, mother. And here I figured you'd had enough of me by now. You could have undone the calamity itself. But instead you want to stay. In a world like this. I gotta admit, kid, I ain't yet put much thought in that idea. But carrying on, with you here. We can't go back no more. But I suppose we could go wherever we please. And if anyone's left out there, I sure would like to see the look in their faces when we dock this thing right on their doorstep. Getting ahead of myself, though. I'm gonna need a first mate. What do you say?
That was quite the game. It was quite beautiful. Well, that was a fantastic game. The music was fantastic. And yeah, finally beat Bastion. I'll see you guys in the next